Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Welcome, welcome. I am Kat, the nurse flipper. In case you don't know, Rod is me now. No. Joined by my co-host, Rod, picking and punching. Below me is Genos Finds, who you guys, I'm sure, see in the chat every week. And if you don't know, he makes most of my super chats that we have on here. And then catty corner to me, she is new to the show, is Stephanie with Three Queens Resale. So we're super excited to have her with us. And I'm going to make Geno and Stephanie big, let them introduce themselves. Get your questions in early, guys. We already have 14 before we even started tonight. So they are in line right now. So get those questions in. And here is Mr. Geno.
Hi, everybody. On my channel, I do ride-alongs where I take you guys with me and I show you what I buy at Goodwills and garage sales. There's no Salvation Armies near me, but if there was, I would. And I also add some humor to my channel and every once in a while, a couple of animations. So I try to make it interesting for all. Okay, that's it.
Here's Stephanie.
Hey, friends. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you sound good.
Yeah. Hold on. I was going to put my channel name in the chat.
Oh, Marshall will share it for you all night. You don't got to worry about it.
And my channel name on YouTube is Three Queens Resale. I sell women's, kids, men's clothes on Poshmark, Mercari, Depop, and eBay. And I've been reselling for about 6 years now.
Perfect. Yeah, Marshall, share your channel link and Geno's, guys. Everybody's channel, Rod's and my thrifting channel will be shared as well. So and you guys go check out Marsha Red Cardinal Treasures. I don't say it enough, but she helps us every week by putting links in for all the guests. And she doesn't put her own, even though I tell her to. So if one of my other mods could put that, that would be amazing. All right. So let's see. Marsha is very, very sweet.
Yeah.
Miss Joanne is first, and she wants to know, how much do you all mark your items down after 30, 60, 90 days and beyond? And do you ever delist something if it doesn't sell by a certain time?
After about 30 days, I will lower the price, maybe 10%, not much more than that. Then around 90 days, 20%, I might move it down to. And after a year, I have a big garage sale, and one's coming up right now to get rid of all the stuff I can't sell. And trust me, there's stuff you can't sell. Steph?
Okay, so I have a systematic markdown. So from 1 to 90 days, no markdown unless you send me an offer, and generally like that 20% range. From 91 to 180 days, 30% off. And I set this up in eBay, 181 to 270 days, 40% off. And then 271 to 365, 50% off. If I have things that are longer than a year, I'll do a 60, 70% off. And then I start pulling those for my live shows.
So for me, I typically will run sales on my items, anything over 30 to 60 days at 10%, from 60 to 90 days, 15%. Anything over 90 days, I do 20% off, sometimes a little bit more. But I try to, normally what I do is, around the 4 or 5 month mark, I will literally delist my item and I will sell similar and relist it, but I would end up changing up the title or lowering the price of it, because I want to keep items moving along the time. I was told by an eBay rep at one of the conventions that, pretty much after 90 days, your items will fall kind of on the wayside there. So, you don't want to just list and forget it. You do want to be, in there trying to, at least adjusting or doing something to your listings. So I always keep that in the back of my mind. And, I want to get those items in and out as soon as possible, keep that cash flow going.
Yeah, so for me, I send out offers from 0 to 90 days of 10% off. So if I have had it 3 months or less, I send out 10%. And then over that 90-day mark, up to a year, I do 30%. And then after stuff passes a year mark, for me, I do 50%. And I typically don't delist or pull items. The only stuff I've really delisted is like I had a ton of DVDs that were taking up a lot of space. They were like $3 to $5 things. So those we did delist, and I ended up just giving them away. But typically I do not, because I have space. So if I ever got short on space, I might think about pulling stuff. But since I have space, I put the work into listing it. I'm not gonna end it. I'm like Rod too, though. We do end and sell similar after 90 days on everything that's ending that day that's been listed more than 3 months. And I think that moves some of those older items out of the store for sure. And I know somebody answered this. So Jack New York's asking if there's a way to block a buyer on Poshmark. I keep getting a lowball offer, 70% off. You just go to their name and then you click the 3 dots and you can click block buyer. I block people everywhere. If you guys know me, I love to block people. That's just what I do.
That's your middle name is Block.
Block. My good friend Leroy, if you guys missed it, he was just on the show with us recently. Leroy is asking, how much research should you do on an item?
How much research? If it's worth $10, none.
But what if you don't know, Geno?
Well, the other day I spent like over an hour researching an item. So it's all according to what I think the value of it is. But cheap items, you look them up on eBay, it says they're worth $10. 20 people are listing them for $10. I list it for $10. Now, if it's a ring, a one-of-a-kind ring, and it's gold or something, I'm going to spend some more time trying to figure out what it is. But I'm not going to spend the rest of my life doing every single item. I won't have any time left.
I was a teacher for 23 years. So let me start there. So my background is in education. And so researching things, I can go down a rabbit hole. I agree with Geno. Like there's things that I know the value, what a Talbot's cardigan sweater is worth. I don't need to look that up. But if I see a new to me brand, like I ran into a tag in a consignment store and it was in the like fancy area, like kind of behind, and it looked really nice. And so I went down a rabbit hole. There were none listed on eBay. Turned out to be some Scandinavian brand that is really expensive there. And so just a little fun learning experiment. And I have that in my catalog now. So I can get carried away. Not daily, but and I feel like the longer I'm in this business, the less time I have to spend on research.
So I've been picking for 25 years now. And, one thing I've learned is time is money, and you make your money in the buy, not the sell. So even if I do list something, I'm listing items where I'm going to make a profit regardless. I don't always have to sell to end user. So I try to spend the least amount of time as possible doing research, with Google Lens, with quick eBay comps, with WorthPoint. I mean, at max, I might spend about 5 minutes, unless it's something like a one-off item. There's some one-off items that I will spend, 10, 15, 30 minutes, or I'll have to reach out to a friend, call a friend for help with. But most of the time I spend very little researching, because with the resources that we have now, it's totally, I mean, when I started, we didn't have smartphones, you know what I mean? You had a flip phone. So like when you went to flea markets or garage sales, you're going off your knowledge, so that we have that now, and be able to take a picture with Google Lens, scan a barcode. I mean, you guys should be spending very little time with, looking at comps, but just like you were saying too, you learn as you go. So you have a good idea, or if you can't find the item, find something that's similar and just price it something similar, or price it super high with the best offer and just lower the cost of that item over time.
Yeah, so for me, I agree with Rod. And I think the big key here is that the more you resell, the more you're going to know, is this a $10 item or could this be a $100 item? And that's where, like Geno's saying, if it's $10 item, don't do it. But it takes experience to know that this is a $10 item. So I think in the beginning, and if you're newer, or if it's a category that you're not used to selling in, you might end up researching more, but that's knowledge that you're gaining that'll help you down the road. For me, most stuff I'm not going to spend more than 5 to 10 minutes either. But if I have an inkling that it is something valuable or worth something, I will put the time in and I will try and find it. But typically, if I'm going to find it, I'm going to find it in 10 minutes. You know, there's only so many places that you can look. And I agree with Rod too. We don't have to be the end user, right? If I bought it for $5, I sell it for $50, it's worth $500. I still made $45 and good on the person who had the knowledge that I didn't, for knowing what I didn't. You know, you do not have to be the end user. And another option, if you really think it's valuable, is throw it up on an auction. Start it at the lowest you're willing to take instead of digging down that rabbit hole, because collectors will know. You put what it is, they're going to know the value. And if it really is valuable, you'll get those bids.
I think you made a good point though, Kat. Like over time, you learn knowledge and stuff like that. But I think the biggest thing is too, is when you guys are out and about, pick up, if you see an item that's $500, pick it up and feel that item, because by the touch of an item, like Kat will tell you, Kat, when she goes thrifting, she can be going through, not even look at the rack, and she could pick up a piece of clothing and know right away, hey, I need to take a double look at that just by the feel of that clothing, you know. And same thing with some of the antiques you in purses and stuff like that. Like you can just tell sometimes that it's a fake or if it's real just by touch. So that's something that you guys really need to pay attention to when you guys are out and about. You know, it doesn't mean you have to buy the item. Pick it up and feel it. Get a good feel for these items, because, you know, touch goes a long way. It will help you when you are outsourcing.
Yeah, that is 100. Like, that's not just with clothes, guys. Linens, there's so much that, like, pillows, like, you can feel the quality.
That's why I don't wear gloves at the bins. At the Goodwill outlet, I see all these people.
I don't wear them either. Yeah.
I can tell the quality of, I've found many a pair of Lululemon leggings just because I know how they feel.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. Speaking of clothing,
you will end up feeling quality. If you do this long enough, you will. Yep. That's for sure.
For sure. Pat wants to know, what is the best platform for reselling clothing?
Well, Stephanie sells more clothing than I do, so you can go, Steph.
I sell all clothing, shoes, and accessories. And to me, it just depends on what kind of energy and effort. I will say Poshmark is the easiest, but I think eBay is the best for everything, just because eBay has a global reach and Poshmark does not. And I sell more. I mean, all I sell is clothing, shoes, and accessories, and I sell more on eBay. I started on Posh, but when I got the hang of eBay, eBay quickly passes Posh every week. So I would say go with eBay.
Yeah, I do sell some clothing in my store. I do cross lists with Vendu to, you know, Mercari, Whatnot platform, Whatnot marketplace, and to Poshmark. And I will say I probably sell more on eBay clothing wise, because like you said, eBay has such a bigger reach than all the other platforms combined. But I would say all it comes down to the type of clothing you're selling. Like if you're selling, you know, vintage clothing or vintage tees, you know, you might want to look at Depop or, you know, Mercari or Whatnot, because, you know, those platforms, and I'm not talking about selling live on Whatnot, I'm talking about Whatnot marketplace as well. It's just like listing on eBay and you listen and forget it. But, you know, there's a lot of places you can sell that stuff. So I think it really comes down to the type of clothing you're selling, because clothing is a very broad category. You know, it's going to be very difficult for you to sell shoes on certain platforms, but on eBay, you're going to have a bigger audience. So the bigger audience is going to be a better place because you're dealing with a specific size shoe. So it really just depends. Someone just got a sale.
Yeah, somebody.
Stephanie wins. I'm going to agree with what everybody said. I'm going to say eBay as well, because we sell between 15 and 20,000 a month on eBay typically, and we only sell between 1 and 3,000 on Poshmark. And all of the items are listed on both platforms. So we definitely get more sales on eBay. But I agree with Rod. If you do have the vintage, again, Depop and Grailed might be a good thing. I don't think I have enough vintage to warrant like putting the time and effort into Depop and Grailed. I do vintage, but I don't have the vintage that I think would sell on Depop and Grailed, if that makes sense, you know? So look, you're making everybody sad now because they thought it was their cha-ching.
Oh,
People used to yell at me in my videos, Kat, because I used to use cha-ching when I used to find like
Oh,
items
yeah,
at
for
garage
the
sales.
sound.
And I used to get so much hate in my YouTube videos. People are like, I love watching your videos, but then every time I hear cha-ching, I have to look at my phone because I think I get a sale. So I had to change up my sound effects on my videos.
Yeah, that used to drive me crazy. I don't remember who I watched that did it. And I would always, like, I would look at my phone every single freaking time. And I was like, D wants to know, do you print out the order detail sheet and include it in the package when you're shipping to the buyer?
some people might think this is heresy, but I don't do it at all. I've been selling stuff since 2000. And if someone asks, which is very rare, I'll put it in. But no, and I've never had one complaint. So since 2000, take that for what it's worth.
Okay, don't hate me, guys. I don't do any shipping. My husband pulls packages, ships, and takes to the post office, everything. I don't know what he put in there. I know we have a business card and a thank you sticker. So I'm gonna go with no. He does not put a packing sheet in there.
So I do not put any packing sheets in any of my orders. The only place I do is on Whatnot, because when I do Whatnot, sometimes when I do my live auctions on there, I'm just putting a number up and I'm just going number 1, number 2, number 3. So I had to do a printout sheet because I have all my items numbered. So it helps me for packaging my items to ship out, but because I'm not preloading those items when I do certain auctions. But I don't do that on eBay. It's just going to be a waste of time. I've been selling on eBay since 1999, so I never once had anyone ever complain. The only thing I've ever had is someone tell me not to ship it because they're a drop shipper and they didn't want me to put the original receipt inside the package, so that the buyer would see the receipt knowing that they paid a lot more than what they bought it from me for. So.
Mm-hmm.
So I do not either. I do not put any order. Like, why? All I do is throw that away. You have a digital receipt. There's a receipt on eBay. A few people got mad at me on Whatnot because I didn't pack Whatnot. I put Whatnot packing slips, but I was shipping out 500 a week on Whatnot. Like, I'm not. No. If people, it's an online purchase. If you really want that packing slip, you can print it yourself. I mean, that's how I feel. I do not put it in. And this is my favorite one, the new member. This Geno, this one surpasses the whale for me. I have to tell you, as evidenced by the ink that is on my arm. Okay. Like, I love sea turtles, guys. I absolutely love sea turtles. So Polo Lonnie, I almost missed a syllable of your name there. Join the membership. If you guys don't know, I have a membership. It starts at $1.99 up to $19.99, and we do stuff almost every week. We do live shipping, we do live sourcing, which is fun, and we do live listing reviews once a month too. So I get to play my favorite thing, which is the sea turtle for Polo Lonnie. I missed it that time, but I caught myself. Where's the sea turtle, Geno? There it is. Here you go. Thank you so much. Geno made that for me. So Geno is absolutely wonderful. That's my favorite. All right. Chuck wants to know, can any of you recommend the best place or price to order some jewelry boxes? Kat, I know you ship jewelry through Whatnot. Do you just use a small box and then a padded envelope? So if you don't know, just pass it and we'll get around to me if that's what we need to do.
If I need boxes that I don't usually sell, I'll just put a little ad on Facebook Marketplace and say needed free boxes. And it never fails. Someone wants to get rid of boxes. Now, jewelry boxes, of course, they're small. I don't know, but you could ask and try, because I have a ton of jewelry I bought at a garage sale for like $3. This is all 14 karat gold too. So
nice.
Yeah, it was a great little buy. And I need some boxes too, but I have a whole bunch. So I don't know. Probably eBay is the best place to buy them, but I don't know.
I had some little boxes like that I bought from one of the craft stores. I want to say Michael's. Like I needed some for just the little square ones that have the cushion for some like homemade earrings. And I don't remember them being that expensive. And I had a coupon because they always have a coupon. So you might want to check in the craft stores in the jewelry department where the supplies where you make your own jewelry. They have the little squares as well as rectangular ones for necklaces.
I don't know. I'll get past the cat. I was like,
So I think the craft stores is good if you need a small amount. So if you're not doing a bunch like Geno, but if you're selling a ton of jewelry, like when we're shipping out on Whatnot, shipping 500 pieces, I buy them in lots of 100 off Amazon. And what I do is the Amazon warehouse deals are what says used. And a lot of times that's just a damaged outer box. So I can save like 20% on those 100 packs. So when I was needing so many, I would just check that Amazon, pretty frequently, like every couple days for the sizes I used to see if any came into the warehouse deals. And then, yes, to answer your question, I use a small box and then I put them in a padded envelope. And unless it's over $50, if it's over $50, it goes in the jewelry box and it goes into a 4x4 box. You could make a little box with a Cricut, but that is very time consuming, and especially if you needed 500 boxes. So time and money,
Time and money.
All right, let's see. Deb's Secret Rabbit Hole. I like your name. Deb says, I started my social media promoting on Facebook and Instagram for now. What tips can you share on how to drive traffic to eBay using those platforms?
Well, on Facebook, I don't know what you're selling, but just say you were selling pottery. I would join every pottery group that's on Facebook. That's the way to get your name out there. If it says whatever you want to sell, go to that group and sign up. I do. They must hate me. I'm on so many groups. But that's what I would do on Facebook.
I would say the same thing. I have also just joined like neighborhood garage sale groups.
Yeah.
And not just in my community, but the surrounding communities, because cheap inventory. Like when people are like, I want to get rid of all of this. If I'm a reseller and I'm right there, I can kind of have first dibs on it. But as far as like promoting myself, I'm the worst at that. I need to be better at that. So if you find out some tips, like share them with me as well.
so when you're promoting things to sell, people are going to be turned off right away if that's all you're trying to do. So what I would do is if you add value to your posts, like for example, like Instagram is really big on photography. So if you have some rare item, you can post a picture of the rare item, give a little description about it or talk about it on there, and people will click on that and like that because it's the knowledge there, and then people will start following you and people will like what you keep sharing. But the biggest thing is with any social media platform is going to be consistency. So consistently posting up your finds, posting up stuff you have. I know Vintage Sports Flips, he actually posts on his story daily every morning he posts 10 items up, and he posts up on his story the 10 different items, or he'll put like one big picture, hey, this is what we're posting in our store today, and he puts a direct link for people to go if they want to go click on it and stuff like that. And I have gone a couple of times because he does a lot of old vintage sports things that I think are super cool, and I go and I look at it. He posts the stuff up on his page. He does a really good job at doing that. So it's not always about trying to promote things you want to promote without indirectly promoting. That's the biggest thing I would tell you. So be able to just keep posting up, because if you post up and people like what you're posting, they're going to follow you. And then when you do show stuff to sale, you're going to have more eyes on your product. But I will say, like, it's tough. Like, I have, between my YouTube channels, between my Facebook, between my Instagram accounts, stuff like that, I don't get a lot of direct sales to my eBay store. So I would say it's good to build up for community. It's good to build up for leads. It's good to build up to network with other people. But I will say, if you're just building up to get sales for your store, I don't want to set you up for employment, but you might be few and far between, especially as you're building it up. So there's other things that you can build up the community around you, become an expert in the community. Then the things will just fall into place too. Kamala Picker does a good job of that. He talks about his items all the time, and then.
Yeah, and I'm not good at this. I really am not. I don't feel like I drive very much traffic at all. I have the traffic because I have the followers on eBay from my YouTube channel, but I don't feel like any of my posting because I don't post stuff, right? And I've talked about it before. I always think of Dagny, Flying Pick Thrifts, and all the time she does late night listings, just like Rod was saying, like they did, and then you appeared. Kevin is in the house, everybody. Hi.
It's like Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. So yeah, I'm not great at it. I would say hashtags. I like Geno's idea of getting in the groups. If you're really selling a lot of one type of thing, that's a great idea as well. And so Susan, tell us how you do it. She's saying she drives 30%. Tell us what you're doing. That's what we need to know is what are you doing? I will tell you when I list on Posh, I do share to Pinterest. I do that, and I don't know if that helps. Marsha, will you get that, please? If not, I can. All right. Maya says, I have an item not received open and it has been scanned delivered. I uploaded tracking. The deadline was September 13th. The buyer hasn't escalated, so it's still open. Can I get eBay to close it now?
It's never happened to me. I've had things take a month to get where they're going, but she still hasn't gotten it. Pass it on. Rod would know this.
Rod.
Okay.
Rod.
So she never got it, or it says item not received, but it says that it's tracking delivered.
Yeah, it's confusing a little.
It's yeah, I would call somebody. I know that's like, I don't have the special eBay phone number to talk to real people. If you guys do, you can slip that in my DMs. But I've had a similar situation like this, and then in the nth hour, like at day 47, they received it and all was good. So I don't know about this one.
So two things. One, so I'm going to give you guys both sides of it. If someone opens up an item not received case against you, you have an X amount of days to respond to it. Do not respond right away with tracking if the item has not been received. I wait to the very last day to post my tracking because there might be a delay. The package got stopped. Anyway, and I always post in the comments, say, hey, it looks like the item is at this post office, is on its way, and I'll post it up. You have an X amount of time to do that, so use all that time as possible. Now, in a situation like this, where the item was scanned delivered and the buyer has not done anything, you can escalate that. If you already uploaded tracking, the deadline was September 13th, you can actually escalate that to eBay. eBay will step in. eBay will see that the item has been delivered, and they should decide in your favor on that and close out the dispute. So as long as you upload the track in there, past the deadline, yeah, ask eBay to step in. I've done that before, and they would just close it out there.
Yeah, just ask for eBay assistance. You escalate it. You don't need to contact a rep or anything, and it'll automatically, within probably an hour, it'll close and it'll get released.
There should be an option in the actual case to escalate to eBay. So,
yeah. All right. Miss Elena, Treasure Diva Thrift says, how many YouTube videos did you put out in a week when you first started filming?
I put out one a week, and they all stunk. They were really bad. But you're not going to know that when you first put them out. You're going to think they're the best in the world. When you go back a year later, you're going to say, why don't I delete these? They're horrible. And now, though, I still only put out one, but I put a lot more effort into it. Like I said at the beginning of the show, I do special effects. I add some humor. I do some skits. And that all takes a lot of time. It takes me, and I'm not exaggerating, 30 hours to put out one video a week. So it's all according to what you want to put into it.
When I first started, so I've had an eBay channel probably for 5 years, and have been super inconsistent with it until like this year. The goal has always been one a week. Back in the spring, I was doing, I had like an accountability thing. And so I was doing one a day. Um, right now I'm at like 3 a week. So it just, and I'm the type of person to learn and get better. I need to do it more consistently, and I make it a goal to do something new with my video each time, like learn one of those different features and what it does and try to add it. And I'm also watching a lot more content so I can kind of see what people are doing, um, just to make it more interesting. But that is a lot of time, and like I haven't ever gotten paid in 5 years. It really is a creative hobby, like for me. Like hopefully I'll be my goal is to be monetized by Friday because I only need 38 more watch hours. So
So go watch her videos, guys. She only
universe,
needs
do your
38 hours.
job, universe.
Watch her.
Yeah, watch
Yeah.
Steph's videos.
So when I first started on YouTube, I put out one video a week, and the reason for that was I was trying to get better and learn how to edit. I'm self-taught everything that I do, so I would recommend putting out one video a week when you first start out. I would spend that additional time trying to find out how you make your video at least 1% better than the previous video, and that could be your two biggest things are going to be your thumbnail and you're going to be your title, because you can have the best video in the entire world, but no one clicks on it, no one's going to watch it.
Chad has gone wild.
Yeah,
Gone
poor
wild.
Kevin. Kevin's here for 1 minute. It's already pure chaos.
Kevin started it.
But I where was I? Totally forgot where it was. No, yes.
Oh my goodness.
I would say over time, once I became, when I first started editing a video, it would take me. My first yard sale video was like 45 minutes long, and because I put long, it was it's horrible. And over time, I was able to cut that 45-minute video down to 15 to 20 minutes, which is more, all the dead air out there, be able to make a better quality video. And then over time, I just added little features to it. And just like Geno said, keep adding stuff. Once you feel comfortable and that you can, reduce the amount of time you spend in your videos, you're getting more faster with it, you're getting better at it, then you can try to put out 2 videos a week. I will say, though, it's a lot of work. And make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. Because if you're doing it for money, I'm telling you, you're gonna fail right off the bat, because you're gonna put a lot more time. Your time would be better spent doing listing or reselling than it would be putting YouTube videos. Now, if you just do it because you love doing it and it's a passion of yours, absolutely go forward doing it. But I would say focus on one first, and 2, you feel comfortable. Maybe get a couple months and make sure you look at your analytics. I would say move to 2 videos when you're watching your analytics, and over time, your viewership is going up, and how long they're watching your video has been going up. Because when you click on your analytics in YouTube, you can see a path. With the first 30 seconds, it's huge. You want to try to be at 7% after the first 30 seconds. After that, you're going to see a constant decline. That's normal, but you want to make sure that number is going up over time. How many people are watching your video to the very end? Once that starts increasing, that means you're keeping people entertained, you're keeping people there, then move on to a second video. So I wish I knew that in the very beginning. That took me a very long time. I was already putting out 2 videos, so I really dig down and learn that. But
yeah, you said
So
7%. I think you meant 70%.
70%. Sorry, I say 7. I meant 70.
7%.
70%. Yeah.
Aim high.
Yeah.
I will tell you, I know Mr. Kevin Commonwealth Picker did it too. Did daily videos for very long periods in the beginning stages of my channel, because I felt like the more videos I got out, A, the more practice I was getting at doing them, and B, the more chance I had of people seeing them. And I know Kevin did daily for a long time as well. But I agree with Rod, and over time and over the years, it's kind of like, I have some channels, like if you guys look up Jonna Jenton, JonnaJinton, she is a vlogger. I think she's in Iceland. She does 1 video a month and gets millions of views, but her editing is impeccable. So I think if you could do one very, very well edited video a week, that you would be good. I don't put I'm not like Geno. Geno puts a lot of extras in. I'm a really basic editor. I don't like do the frills. I haven't learned it. I really don't have an urge to learn it. I'm more on like the educational side. So I'm not about the special effects and transitions and blah, 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 blah. So for me on my thrifting channel, I do 2 to 3 a week, and I do 3 a week on this channel. So really with this podcast, I do a video every day, but it's split between 2 channels. And that doesn't feel like a lot to me. I don't know why, because it used to, but it's because half of it is thrifting content and half of it's educational. So it's really different stuff.
But you're also now, you have so much more skill in editing your videos where you can edit 5 videos in the same amount of time that probably took you to put out 2 videos in the very beginning, because you know what you're doing over time. And you made a really good point is, about, people always have the debate, is it quality better or quantity better? But with quantity, you're going to get better quality over time because you're getting the repetition and practice. So I would say, yes, there is benefits to putting out a lot more videos, but you have to make sure people are actually watching them as well. Because you're just putting out videos to put out videos and no one's watching them, you're doing yourself a disservice.
I will say, when I was doing them daily, I noticed I started to build a community. And when I didn't put out one, like I was out of town, people would like message me like, "Are you okay?" Because I went probably 6 weeks where I did one every day, and I had a little group of followers that kind of grew. And yeah, I did get quicker that very first. I was like, I cannot do this every day. I cannot take 3 hours to do this every day. But by the end of that 6 weeks, it was like popping them out in like less than 30 minutes, like before I went to bed.
Yeah. Yeah. Dalton Dean, mommy did see you as soon as sister put that, but mommy had to answer the question. Buddy, my kids are in the chat.
Okay.
Hi, Dalton Dean. Mommy is not ignoring you. Mommy has to answer the question first. I love you. Go to bed. Good for your sister. And everybody was saying hi to you in the chat. Mommy saw you. Mommy just had to answer the question first. Okay. Okay. All right. Pat wants to know. Oh, we already did that one. Hold on. Reverse. Okay. General product safety regulation requirements are taking effect December 13th, and they're saying compliance seems difficult. This is for the EU and Ireland.
I'm not in Ireland. I don't know.
I don't know.
So
I sell clothing, so I'm assuming this is like for electronics and things like that.
So I would say at the end of the day, I could probably count on one hand or 2 hands how many times I've sold to Ireland. I would say Germany did something very similar with different requirements, and everything will be handled with eBay is usually pretty good about this, and they'll put the requirements in the actual international shipping, or they'll remove the country from there that you can't ship to if you don't meet a certain requirement. So that's what happened in the past. So I wouldn't really worry about it if you're in eBay's international shipping program. More eBay tries to handle all that stuff for you because they want to remove any type of friction from the listings or the sales. The reason eBay does that is because they want to have more sales come in. If it's more complicated for you to take extra steps, you're not going to sell there. So eBay is going to take care of that for you, I'm assuming. And it's just going to be in there where if you can still list your item and sell it international, but eBay will probably put the regulation for certain countries like they do for the countries that we can't sell to right now internationally due to tariffs and other things.
I'm going to agree with Rod and say the chat has really gone wild. And I want to say hi to my good friend Heidi. I haven't seen you in like over a year. Mm-hmm. Hi. Hi, Heidi. All right. Let's see. Lucas says, I have 250 listings. When should I get a store subscription? And how do you get the store to pay for itself? I want a max of 500 listings.
With 250 listings, you're paying fees every month to keep listing them. You're probably paying more than the store costs anyway, would be my guess. You want your store to pay for itself? List more. I mean, list better and higher quality stuff. That's about what I would say for that. But with 250 listings, I think you're paying more than your store would cost. What's the basic store? $7 a month, $6.99 a month. I pay the one above that, but I would just go for the store, and you get some benefits with it.
I agree. I think you're already there. I think I got an eBay store like when I got to around 100 items. So, and that was like 6 years ago. So I wouldn't have done it if it didn't make sense financially as far as um, listing and them relisting themselves. So I think you're just take a look at the store options and kind of weigh out which one is best for you.
Yeah, so eBay, I'm pulling up the store right now. So just so you guys have an understanding, the starter store is $4.95 a month. That's an annual subscription, and you get up to 250 listings. Anything after that, you have to pay 30 cents. And then the basic store is $21.95 a month, and it's 1,000 monthly listings. And anything over that 1,000 listings, you have to pay a 25-cent insertion fee. So it's honestly, at the end of the day, it's just a simple math equation. You know, how many items are you currently listing a month? And remember, every time your item renews after 30 days, that counts as one listing. A lot of people don't realize that. So it's just the amount of items that you're listing per month. You know, you just write down how many items you currently have, how many items you plan on listing that month, see what it will cost you, and if it's cheaper to do the store, do the store. With the store too, you do get every quarter you do get a coupon for supplies. I think that store gives you a $25 coupon. Yeah, I think that one gives you a $25 coupon. I have the one above it, so I get a $50 coupon. But
yeah, that's the one I have too.
Yeah, it's just a simple math equation. You look at the numbers, see how many items you're listing, and then add it up and see if it's worth it for you.
Yeah, I think anytime you go over 250, like, so you're going to be paying 250 times 30 cents. Like, how do you get it to pay for itself? It does right there. If you have 500 listings, if you don't have a store, you're paying 30 cents for 250 listings. I mean, you've already paid for the store. So super, like, to me, it's kind of a no-brainer. If you have over 250, I would get a store. Kate wants to know, how do you unfollow on Whatnot? I think you just click on their name and click follow again, and it'll unfollow them. Not me and Rod. I haven't been doing any Whatnots. Listen, so Shannon, if you guys watch my Catch Treasure Hunting channel, you'll see my friend Shannon has been going shopping with me. Since we haven't been shopping, since we absolutely overstuffed the car and have too many things right now, as evidenced by the pile of clothing over there on the counter, she's been organizing my Whatnot room. So we're going to actually be having some really, really good sales on knickknacks. I think I'm going to go knickknacks, not Whatnot, is what I have decided. So yeah, so don't unfollow me there either. And follow me if you're not following me already on knickknacks. You can follow people there. All right. Eileen says, has anyone had the eBay glitch where something you've already sold keeps up on the top of the sold notification bell? Very annoying.
I have not, but I would refresh the page. You hit the bell, it's still there. It should disappear, but if it doesn't, go to the item, come back, and then hit refresh. I'm sure it'll disappear. I don't know why it would be a glitch just on yours, but I've never had the problem.
I feel like I have all types of glitches on eBay. That's what I do. Just refresh and keep going.
Yeah, if you're on a cell phone, if it's happening to you, you can always uninstall the app and reinstall it. And if you're on a computer, try clearing your cookies and your cache on there. That might help it. But yeah, I mean, eBay has glitches all the time. I mean, anyone who's been selling on eBay for any amount of years, it's just part of doing business, and you just go with the flow. You're just used to it by now. So
yeah, so I haven't had it with the sold item, but I have it with like offers expired, and it's the same thing. And it actually popped up in my was sold video when I was doing it last time, and it popped up like 7 times. And I even X'd it. Like, I'm like, stop, and I cannot figure out how to get it to go away. Hot Mess Picker wants to know if any of us have any good resources for researching old glass beads.
I have none. This is a Cat question, I think.
find yourself a friend named Kat.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm not great with old glass beads though. I would almost like lot them if it were me and I had a bunch of glass beads, I would lot them up and run auctions. I know Jocelyn's Facebook group is really good. Old Things Thrifters and Pickers. They have like amazing knowledge. So I might try posting in there and asking them, not necessarily for info on it, but maybe one of them knows a better research site for them. Look at y'all. Y'all are amazing putting my knickknacks link. Thank you. All right.
There you go. I like this question.
Is it just me or does Geno look and sound like he should be in Hollywood? And I know some other people commented and said Geno was a movie star. So
A TV star.
definitely.
I was on TV.
TV
I
star.
wasn't a movie. Yes. I was on Storage Wars Miami.
Storage Wars
Oh.
Miami.
Storage Wars Miami.
All right.
And if they didn't
Gussied-
cancel the show, I would have been on the next season.
Gussied Upcycle says, I think I'm in violation of eBay policy. I've been including arrows and text in my photos. What can I do with the ones that are already listed?
I'm sorry. I was
Geno's
thinking
too
about-
busy with the
I
big
was-
head down there.
I was ready to sign autographs. Read it again. What is
Geno's head doesn't fit in the screen anymore.
Yeah, I know it's the same thing. My photo. I can't read it now. I'm laughing too hard. Been
We'll
included.
skip you, Geno. We'll come back. We'll
Yeah,
come
I'll
back to
come
you.
back while I read it. I'll be right back.
Well, I'll roll the red carpet for you next time so you can answer the question on time. All right.
Okay, no more.
So they did arrow. First of all, I didn't know this was against the policy. So
It is against policy. Any text or arrows, nothing is allowed to be imposed on your photographs on eBay.
Okay, yes, that's true.
I would then, I'm a scaredy cat and I don't want to get banned and kicked off of eBay because it's my income. So I would take them down and put them back up. Like that's what I know it sounds like a lot of work and probably not what you wanted to hear, but if it is against their policy, I would redo it.
So eBay doesn't like put watermarks or anything like that on your photos. I know a lot of clothing sellers though will use arrows or circles on their clothing to show flaws. So I have seen it on there. I mean, at this point in time, you're not going to get kicked off eBay. They're going to give you a slap in the wrist. So, you can just run with it right now. And just moving forward, don't do it. Or maybe over time, simply just remove the items. But if it's already up there and if you haven't heard anything from it, I see people have it all up there all the time. It's just a matter of getting caught when you're on eBay. If you do get caught, they're just going to tell you that this violated policy, not to do it again, and you're going to be fine. You're not going to be kicked off eBay or anything like that. So
They might
just roll with it.
suspend you for 3 days if you ignore that first warning.
Yeah, well, yes, that's correct. If you continue to do it, yes, you could get in trouble. But you have it up there
But
now.
I think if they warned you and you didn't take the other ones down, that's when I think you could be in danger of a suspension.
Well, okay.
I just
Go
wanted.
ahead. I don't know.
I was
Whoever.
just saying
Go
that
ahead.
if you just clarify, she says, "I think I'm in
I'm a TV
violation."
star.
So I wasn't sure if she got they got a violation from eBay. That's why they think they are, or they just
No, I think she just realized it is what I think.
Gotcha.
If I have an item that's chipped, say a vase or something, I will put the arrow, but I won't put it on the main page, the main photo. And I've never ever had a problem, and I've been doing it for years. But like I said, I won't put it on the main photo.
The biggest thing is because when you upload your photo to eBay owns those photos now. That's the reason why they don't just put so that other people can use those photos if they really wanted to. Not that they should, but I think that's the reason behind it.
Yeah, and I think I would probably leave them up there because you've already done the work if they haven't said anything. And you can put a pencil. That's not an arrow.
Yep.
They're just not wanting the arrows in the text. So, I think I would leave it if it were me, unless I got warned. And then if I got warned, I'd be like, crap, now I got to go redo all this stuff. So if I got warned, I would do it. If I didn't get warned, I would just stop asking them. stop asking them. I would stop doing it on the new ones. I can't even
It's
talk.
better to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission in this one. Just run with it.
That's the rule.
Yeah.
Hot Mess Picker says, I'm having a hard time comping fabric samples. I found a few of the same print, but mine are made in England. Now they're made in Thailand. Any tips? She swears it's her last question.
That last question. This is another cat question because I have no idea. I don't deal in that stuff. And when I watch your videos, Cat, you were always buying that stuff. So you're perfect to answer this. Boy, did I suck up there.
Listen,
Yeah,
am
I
I
don't have any
answering it?
experience.
Yeah, I have no idea. So go take to the cat.
All right. So with the fabric samples, you're going to look up the name. I have not really paid close attention to where they're made. I would recommend Worth Point if you do not have Worth Point. So like my Scalamandre silk samples that I sell for like $50, those I find on Worth Point. And I think I would go, oh gosh, they're going to torture Geno. Geno knows that super chat, but poor Stephanie is going to have to put her blinders on. So I would look it up on Worth Point would be my answer. If you couldn't find it and you know that they were made in England over Thailand, I might price like 20 to 30% higher if you couldn't find it. And Summertime Vintage would like to torture. Sorry, Kevin. I love you. Everybody, she's giving us a request for Kevin's super chat. So Stephanie, just beware. Here we go. There we are.
Everyone's first reaction is the best. You know, I'm actually going live. I'm going to go live tomorrow night on Dibdit at 7:00 with Kevin. Maybe we'll get him to show his butt at that point in time. We'll show live. Maybe. I don't know. If not, we'll
Dennis was in here asking if we're still taking shots whenever we see Kevin. Because last week, people were taking shots every time they saw the Kevin super chat. And we're having a fun time in the chat. See, look, it was dumpster diving duck. Shots. I mean, whatever floats your... I mean, the chat might get a lot more interesting if we do that. Yeah. All right. The 5 Acre Woods said, it's Miss Debbie, is there a way to be sure that an item that already sold doesn't get relisted? It's happened to us 3 times last month. We do not cross post.
I don't know why it would get relisted unless you're relisting it. I mean, you could archive it, I guess, and hide it, but I don't have that problem. I don't know. Why would you'd have to go there and actually say sell similar, relist? You must be doing something wrong, and I'm not there to help you. Sorry.
Yeah, I would think on eBay. I can't think of. I thought you were saying you do not cross post, like as in have a service, but if you're only on eBay, I don't know how it would automatically relist itself. Sometimes I have caught this a few times where I had 2 of the same listings, and I don't know, like when we created the listing on, we use List Perfectly. It made 2 listings, and so one sold, and then we have the other one. But that couldn't be your problem. I don't know, friend.
You really shouldn't have 2 listings on eBay because eBay has red flag. They have flag systems set up that will, if you have the same exact title, it will flag it in their system and will say, hey, you already have this item already listed sometimes. But for me, I've actually had this problem. We talked about that. I haven't had this problem this year, but I think it was last year we talked about this, Cat, where I had one PS4 game, Red Dead Redemption.
They kept getting listed.
For some other reason, every couple months, this item would just keep selling, and I was not listing. I sold it, and that would drive me crazy because I kept going through all my containers looking for it, and it was happening like every couple months. The item would just automatically, it just stopped. But yeah, it's a glitch in the system. I don't know what else to say. I've had it happen to me. Other people, it's been happening for years on eBay, and unfortunately, what you could do is go into your sold listings, and you can actually delete that actual listing from the actual eBay account. You can, so people don't know, you can actually delete, even if you remove an item, you can actually go into your thing and even if it's not listed, you can delete that actual
Yeah.
that item is not sold from eBay's listing. So that would be something I would try. But yeah, unfortunately, there's not much you can really do. It's a glitch in the system.
Yeah, there unfortunately is nothing that we can do.
And
All
you're
right,
gonna get
Miss So, what,
no,
Geno?
no. I said you're
Bad
gonna get
Geno.
the opposite. You're gonna get the opposite because I've had things get unlisted that I still wanted on there, and for some reason they're gone.
That's
So there
another
are
problem.
glitches you gotta put up
I've
Yeah,
had
that's
that
been
too.
happening for years.
Yeah.
That's why you guys should go through your inventory probably once a year and just go through, because how many times have you opened up a container and looked through your inventory and be like, why hasn't this item sold yet? And you look it up and it's like, oh, it's not listed. So
Yeah.
All right. So Gila says, to do an auction, are you supposed to have lots of followers or be a seller for a long time? Because I put something on auction when I started eBay 4 months in, and I did not get any offers.
No, I wouldn't think so. If it's a good item and it's at the right price, you're going to get a lot of people bidding on it. I don't think it matters. It's not like the more popular you are. I guess if you had followers like from your YouTube page or something, it might help. But no, eBay doesn't care. I don't think it's a problem at all.
I don't think it has anything to do with that. I was doing Whatnot, and I have since decided not to. So a lot of the things that we had for Whatnot, I have been putting on auction on eBay, and they're just like selling. I mean, I know I've been on eBay for 5 years, but I've got them priced to move. Like, auction wise, you might have it priced too high for an auction.
Yeah.
I kind of let the public dictate what something sell for the $5 I posted them for. Most of them get bidded up a little bit. So
yeah, I would say
has
so.
anything.
The beauty about eBay has over 130 million users on the account. You don't have to have a following. You can, if you have an item that has a fast sell through rate and you price it well, it will sell the same day. And that's with no following whatsoever. You can literally start selling items on eBay the first day and get a ton of sales. That's the beauty about it. So I'm assuming if you're listing something as an auction, it may not. I would look at the sell through rate, make sure that's something that if you're listing an item up and there's only 10 sold and there's 1,000 listed, more than likely that's not going to sell at auction because it has a really low sell through rate. Also, too, look at the sold comps. If it's at auction, people like auctions because they can get stuff under market value. That's the purpose of an auction. The auction is to move items fast. So if you're pricing an item too high, if you're pricing around the other items or even a little below the other items, you're probably not going to get bids on it. So that's why people like low starts on auctions, because they want to move items fast and keep items coming in and out.
Yeah, so the big thing with auction is you need to make sure it's the thing for auction. And I know Rod kind of just said this, but if the demand is not there, 95% of things on eBay should not be on auction. The only time something should be on auction is if you want to move it cheap, you're going to start it really low and you don't care. And she's saying she priced it too high. So that in that case, it shouldn't be an auction. It should be a buy it now. And it might take 6 or 8 months for that item to sell, depending on how popular. But auction should be very, very, very seldom used unless you have really high demand items. I haven't done, and I have the hiccups again. I haven't done an auction in months, and I very, very rarely do them because in today's society, people have a I want it and I want it now mindset. And if they can, like, if you have it on auction, let's say you have it on auction for $10, but somebody else has it buy it now for $12, I'm going to go buy the $12 one because I don't want to wait 5 days. And that's, I think, the mentality of the majority of people. So people are willing to pay more buy it now. Unless it's rare and they can't find it anywhere else, they have no choice but to wait for your auction to end. So for me, that's like the only time I really do the auctions.
Also, they should check their description. Maybe you spelt the word wrong. I mean, just for something else to check.
Kat, this made me laugh. It says we should
flip
stores for a month.
What did we learn? Well, a lot of our stuff's similar, though.
Yeah, but we also have a lot of other things. We'd probably, things that would sell, we'd be like, "Wow, that's sold for that." That's probably what we would end up doing, and then we looking up other items similar to that. But I thought it was funny.
All right, let's see. Pod Rosie says, I hesitate to cross list because doesn't eBay get mad when you end listings?
I don't think so. I end listings all the time and sell similar. I've never had a problem. I don't think they get mad. So cross list away.
Yeah. I cross list. We're on eBay, Poshmark, Depop, and Mercari. All items get listed to all 4 platforms. And when we have to end things, we end them.
Yeah, I cross list them on 4 platforms, and I end items daily from cross listing and end items daily to relist. So, as long as the only way you're going to get in trouble for ending an item if someone messages you and wants to buy the item in person or wants to do a deal off eBay, and then you end the item after getting that message, that's when you're going to eBay will flag that listing or get flagged in the system. So that's the only issue you would have to really worry about.
Or if you put it as an auction and you have a bid, then eBay also will get mad at you for ending that listing.
Well, eBay also charges you now too if you do that, Kat.
Yeah, you would pay the fees.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no, they don't get mad as long as it's not one of the scenarios that we have mentioned. I don't know what this means. Does anyone use clothing listers? Is that a company that I'm not familiar with?
I think they mean a VA to write their listings.
Oh, maybe.
Geno, do you use a VA?
No, I have no idea. I wear clothes.
That's what Geno knows about clothes. He puts them on.
When I first went full time, I had a VA that did listings based off of photos, and that lasted I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 months. And then I decided that I just wanted to do it. I'm the type of person, if I give you a task, I want you to be able to do it and I not have to check behind you. And I felt like in the time I was reviewing all of the work that the person did, that, well, shoot, I might as well just do the work and not pay you. So that's why, and since then I write all of the listings.
Yeah, so I don't use a VA for clothing listing. My mother-in-law does help me out I drop off a tote and she'll do some clothing for me and just put them as drafts. But other than that, I do all my own listings myself.
Yeah, so for me, I have employees that do my listings for me, and we actually use List Perfectly's Express Lister. VA is a virtual assistant, so Gila. So it could be either somebody here in the US, it could be somebody in another country. But with List Perfectly's Express Lister AI, and if you guys didn't hear, let me tell you the news. They announced that every single level of List Perfectly is going to have access to AI Lister, including the $29.99 a month. Every single level of List Perfectly will now have access. Now, the listing amount is going to be limited by the plan, but everybody's going to have access to it. So if you're a smaller seller, you can use it and not have to have that top tier plan. They just announced that this week, and I think that is absolutely amazing and super happy to announce that out. So Marcia, what's going to happen is the simple plan, the business plan, and the pro plan all will have AI Lister, but there will be a limit. So let's say it might be 20 or whatever for the simple. It might be 50 for the business, 100 for pro. But if you want the 1,000 like you're getting now, there will be a new plan, and that'll be the Pro Plus, and that will be more, but they have not announced the price yet. But you can still use it, and then if you see you're making the money from it, go up and plan, right? Makes sense. I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm going to assume this is for me, so I'm going to take this one. Asking, how do I do my what solds? We hear you're talking, but we just see the screen. So I actually record them here in StreamYard, exactly like we are doing this podcast right now. And I share my screen, which I can show you guys. I'll share my screen right now with you. let's see. I'll show you my list perfectly listings because it's up. So what I do is I put that up and then I make it full screen, which I'll do right now and show you. And then I keep talking and I just show you what I sold. Now, when I edit it, I zoom in so you can see the pictures closer. And yeah, so it's StreamYard's free. And you can share your screen and you can talk over it. And when you make it full screen, then it only shows it and hears you in the background.
If you don't have StreamYard, if you're using some type of editing software, you can just take the photo, add the photo to your software, and you're doing an overlay. You're putting the photo on top of the video, so it just shows the photo. It doesn't. So you record the video first, you talk about the item, and you put the photo over top of it.
I used to do the screenshots, and it took so much longer to edit. That's why I switched to doing it in StreamYard and sharing my screen.
I might steal that.
Yeah, no, it's so much easier. Ari wants to know, what do you do if you get a return of an expensive shirt back, new with tags, but it comes back smelling like cigarettes? Do you relist it? What do you do with it?
Well, that means he went to a wedding and he doesn't need the shirt anymore. That's what it means. I get stuff back all the time that's not in the condition that I sent it. If it's expensive enough, I would call up eBay. Whether you win that, it's going to be tough. But take pictures of it, send it to eBay, and just keep arguing. Don't settle for one person, talk to another. But it's tough when people try to scam you like that. And it happens. Not often, but it happens.
So this has happened to me several times. I don't sell a lot of high-end stuff, but I've been messed over a few times. So one of the things that I have done is on eBay, because Poshmark, it's a little harder for people to return things, is I've put no returns on some of those, 500 dresses, dollar dresses, even $100 dress. That's a lot of money. New with tag. I don't accept returns on those. And then when they try to open up a case, it's more of a back and forth than, because I do have returns on everything else. It's not a just send my stuff back. Because then, of course, eBay tries to side with them every single time. But then when they send it back and I'm like, this smells like smoke, this has a deodorant stain, this has a snag, I feel like I've been able to put up a bigger fight. And a lot of times, it's helped a few times. One time was a pair of shoes and one time was a dress, a pair of Gucci heels, and then a Veronica Beard dress. And so those are things that I pay up for, and I cannot sell them for as much if they're not new with tag again.
Yeah, it's a tricky one because I've had that happen to me multiple times where someone's returned an item and it smelled like smoke, and I don't smoke.
Mm-hmm.
And you could get a battle back and forth. What I normally do is I take literally a Tupperware container, I throw it in not a Tupperware container, like a tote. I throw it in a tote with a bunch of dryer sheets, and I just let it sit in there for like a week or something like that. And it usually helps reduce the smell. You can spray it. There's other things you can potentially do, but that's or you hang it out to dry for a while and let it air out. But unfortunately, it's a crappy situation. It's something we all have to deal with. It's the cost of doing business. That's why you always have to have that little 2 to 5% wiggle room in your listings for returns, for scammers, for things getting lost, stolen, everything else, unfortunately.
Yeah, so for me, I saw somebody put ozone in the chat. First of all, I would deduct 50% from their refund because that's not coming back to me in the way that it went out to them. So I would remove that. I've done charcoal before if I'm trying not to wash it. And obviously you also could take the tag off, sell it as used, and wash it as like a last resort. But I'm not going to just throw it out. No, I'm going to figure out some way. So I have the ozone machine now. Gina's saying coffee. So there are a lot of different ways that you can, work on it
So
and,
when you
and sell it. Oh,
so
go
when
ahead.
you only given back 50%, like refunded 50%, did you have to get that approved by eBay? Like,
Most of the time you can do it if you're a top rated seller, and you would just have to put notes on why.
okay, well, because we're top rated, and yeah, I've just been giving it all back, but and been mad about it, but I didn't realize that you have that option to give a partial refund.
Yeah, you can. The only time it won't let you is if it comes back as item not as described, or what's the other one, Rod? What is it?
Not
Not defective, not working.
Yeah.
Those are the only two times.
Yeah.
Gussied Upcycle is asking, do you recommend insurance to a buyer for a hard to replace or expensive item?
Do I recommend it? No. If they want it, I'll get it. They're going to pay for it. That's it.
I don't have anything. I mean, a few handbags that probably should be insured, but I have no one's ever asked me about it.
So you are actually responsible for the item from the time the buyer buys it to the time it arrives to is marked delivered. If the item is broken, that's not the buyer's responsibility if they didn't pay for insurance. That's going to fall on your side, and eBay is going to side with the buyer every single time. So one thing you could do is you can add a handling charge to more expensive listings, which will cover like the insurance fee, and just put in the description that there's a handling charge for, we are putting insurance on this item. No, most of the time I just eat the insurance myself, especially depending how it is. If the item, you have to do signature confirmation also too. If the item is $750 or more, that's required by eBay, automatically have to do it. But any item that's say a couple $100, I would highly recommend doing signature confirmation, because if you do have any issues, it will help your claim as well. And it's an extra couple $1 fee to do that. But anytime I insure an item that's super expensive, I do add delivery confirmation to it. Like if I'm selling an item for $500 or $1,000, I'm going to do delivery confirmation, signature delivery confirmation on top of the insurance, because it does help out the claim, and it's an extra step that the buyer has to go through to get the item.
So for me, if it's, I won't say over 100, because probably up to 200, I'm not going to do it, because you get $100 free insurance with Ground Advantage or Priority. If it goes over that $200 point, I'm like, Rod, I pay for it. I don't expect my buyer to pay for it, because if it gets lost or broke, that's on me. And I do sell quite a bit of higher dollar items. So yeah. All right. Mark is here and he's late. Is he late? 9:13. You're 2 minutes late of being late. And he wants to see Rod's butt. I mean, that's what he really wants to see, but I don't have Rod's butt. So, all right. Here, this is Mark's weekly super chat. Here you go.
Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Until next time.
There you go. And we have another new member, so I get to see the turtle. Casey, thank you so much for joining the membership. I appreciate you very much and look forward to seeing you in the lives. And here is my favorite thing, the turtle. Da, da, na, na. All right. I have to put it up here because he asked it. Geno,
Yes,
Marsha answered this. Marsha answered this. What is your answer?
Kevin, right? Call me
Yeah.
Kevin. Well, I could tell you the truth, but it would take like 2 minutes if you want to know what happened.
Oh my God. No, we really don't. Kevin can message you and get all the information he needs.
It's not bad. I don't curse or anything, but it.
Geno,
Okay.
zip it.
But it's wrong.
I know, I put it up there. He's probably still not even in the chat. He asked and ran.
These people are so old, there's not many parties. Because
So, SoCal says, what is a good or expected sale rate when sending best offers? I sent 300 best offers on eligible items this past weekend and sold 30, so 10%.
I do 10%. That's all I do. If it says eligible for promotion, I'll send 10%. And I always get sales from it. That's what I use.
He's asking what is
if you send out 100, how many do you think actually sell?
Oh, it's a different question. I was thinking about the parties.
Obviously, Geno.
Out of 300, if I got 15 to 20, I'd be happy. You're not going to get much more than that.
I'd be happy with the 10%.
Yeah, absolutely. 10%.
I mean, at 10% off, I'd be happy with. Or wait, how much was it off?
They didn't say how much they sent, but they sent out 300 items and 30 of those sold.
So 10% of the offers he sent out were accepted.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good.
I would say usually it's 5 to 10%, closer probably to 5% than 10% based on my experience. But if you send out 300 offers, you get 30 sales from that. I would be extremely happy with that.
Yeah, I would as well. I think mine's probably a little higher because I send them out like 2 or 3 times a day, and probably like half of my sales are offers, to be completely honest with you. Now that's on eBay. Now on Posh, I get like maybe 5%. It's really low. I send a ton of them and I get a lot of sales, but that's because I send a ton of offers.
Mm-hmm.
Another cat. The other cat would like to know, what is the difference between sorry, I have a cough drop in. I started coughing. What is the difference between an item saying Japan on the underside versus made in Japan?
I don't think there's a difference. I know if it says Nippon, it could mean it's older. The United States at one point, and I forget the year, made them put all their names in English. So Nippon would be older and made in Japan would be newer. But I don't know if Japan and made in Japan makes a difference.
I have no idea. Nothing to add.
I'm assuming it's the same thing, but I will let Kat take this one.
Yeah, I think Geno was right. I think just Japan is older than made in Japan. And I don't think, though, unless it's the same item and you're trying to date it, I don't think that it necessarily really makes a difference. Yeah, there you go. You're trying to date it. Thank you. That's what I just said, LaDonna. So I got it right. Okay, my flipping banker is asking me why knickknacks over whatnot and what are the pros and cons of each. So I am choosing to do knickknacks, because it is my friend's platform and I would rather the money go into her pocket than whatnot, a big corporation. That is number one. And I would like to support my friend over supporting a corporation that is faceless to me. I don't know the people. Number two, she told me, Jocelyn and I talk, we are very good friends, that jewelry has been doing very well, which is the bulk of what I have. And when I was last doing jewelry on Whatnot, I was not getting the prices I wanted and it was kind of flopping. I'm not saying I'm not ever doing Whatnot, but we are going to try knickknacks. And if it works well, we will stick with knickknacks for that. The pros and cons, I feel like Whatnot is oversaturated. Knickknacks has like sometimes 3 or 4 lives at a time, but on Whatnot, you're talking, you might have 15 jewelry sellers live at one time. So there's a lot more competition. And I'll let Rod throw in because he's doing Dibdit, which is the same thing. That is Kevin's district platform. So Rod, give some feedback for you on Whatnot versus Dibdit.
Yeah, so the biggest one comes to shipping, and let me tell you. So if I do 3 shows on Whatnot in 1 week, say I do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday show, I have to ship out those items per show. Okay, so let's say Geno comes on, he buys something for my Monday show, my Wednesday show, my Friday show. I'm shipping separate packages for Monday show, Wednesday show, Friday show. The cool thing about District, and if you're on Knickknacks or on Dibit, you can actually do a show Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and just ship out Friday for all your shows, and you can actually combine all the orders for multiple live shows. That one's great. Number 2, they allow you to do progressive shipping if you want to do progressive shipping. So what that means is, just like if you buy something from me, I can, and you say the first time you buy is $8 for shipping, the next time might be $2 for each additional item of shipping, but I get the shipping money myself. On Whatnot, Whatnot takes all the shipping money, and you have to pay additional money anywhere to ship stuff. On District, let's just say I'm doing progressive shipping. You buy 3 items from me. The first item was $8. The next 2 items are $2 additional shipping each. You're paying a total of $12 shipping. Well, let's just say if the shipping comes out to $9, now that extra $3, I can keep that dollars, or I can refund it back to my buyer. So you have that option on Whatnot. If the buyer gets overcharged shipping, you have no control of it because Whatnot takes the money for shipping and handles the shipping labels for you. You're in charge of the shipping labels on there, which I like. It's just like eBay, where you can pick your shipping provider and the way you want to do that. That's awesome too. Also, too, when you go live on Whatnot, only the people that follow you are going to get a notification. What's cool on District is it's a community marketplace. So anytime someone goes live on that community marketplace, everybody in the community gets a notification that you're going live. So that's also a big benefit to that. Secondly, you can also co-host with people. So let's say me and Kat are going live at one time. On Whatnot, you can co-host, but everything has to be under Kat's account. So Kat goes live, she's the host, and me and her are co-hosting. If I show an
And
item,
only I can sell on Whatnot.
only Kat can sell. So if I hold an item up from here, she has to email me the shipping label to do that. Like I just did a t-shirt battle on there where we had to, email each other shipping labels to ship out the different things. On District, they allow you to co-host. And if Kat's selling something, it goes to Kat's account. If I hold up something on the same live stream and show my item, it goes to my account. So we both can do a show together and ship out our separate items separately and not having to worry about combining shipping. So there's a lot of really good benefits to District. And I really feel like District could be the future for live selling, alternative to Whatnot. And the reason why you want to do that is because it's going to be a brand new audience in there. District does have a big cult following for those certain marketplaces. Just like Crazy Lamps Lady does a great job on Knickknacks. Kevin and the Trash Cash guys do a great job on Divot. I highly recommend checking out both those groups. I'm a member of both, and they do a great job, and they're building the community.
Perfect. Miss Susan sent a $10 super chat and said, thank you. I've learned so much here. I'm so happy you sent that because I've been wanting to show the whale all night, and I haven't been able to. So here you go. Oh, we have another one. If we get another one, Geno made a new one that nobody has seen. So the next super chat I get, I will show the new one that nobody has seen. But I had to show the whale first because I really like the whale. All right. Let's see. We did that one. How long does it take you to edit your YouTube videos? And have you considered having someone else edit your videos? If so, why or why not?
Well, first, Ellie, I'm too OCD. So I would never have anybody else edit my videos. I got two answers for you. If I do an update video, it takes me about 3 hours because half the film is I show old things that I bought and then I update people on what they sold for. So you can come and take a look at that. My regular videos we talked about earlier today, and it could take up to 30, 35 hours for me to edit a 10-minute video. These people will tell you, I put a lot of special effects and a lot of skits in mine, and I really do go crazy for it. If you want to do it a little bit less and just walk around the store filming, I'm sure you can get away with a couple hours, but nothing less than that.
My YouTube, like my Ben's haul, that's just kind of like set the camera up and we roll. And you get to see like my dog walking through, my kid getting a goodnight kiss. Like I don't edit anything out. The what sold videos, those take more time because I'm doing the screen grabs and I have the item and that probably if I do the whole week at once, like 2 hours in editing after I've got it all like the voiceover part done. So I actually want to do, one of the reasons I don't do like thrift with me's is because I feel like they take so much editing, but I know people really like that style of video. So I'm trying to do more of that.
Yeah, so it really depends on the style of video you're doing. When I do my picking videos, when I go to like garage sales and stuff like that, I may go out and hit up 30 yard sales and get like 3 to 4 hours of footage, and that might make 2 or 3 videos out of that. And those videos are 15 to 20 minutes long. So a lot of times I would say it takes more time for me to probably go through my footage to find the clips I want to use before I start editing. I would tell you one tip I got from the Commonwealth Picker when we were out. If he goes to a garage sale and there's nothing good and nothing good at the garage sale, as soon as he gets back to his truck, he deletes the footage from that sale right away. So later on, when you go to edit, that's one less thing he has to go through, which is smart. Have I considered, have someone edit my videos? I have, but the difficult thing in our niche is finding someone who understands picking, because to have someone edit these videos, I can't just pay a regular editor to edit my videos. They have to have an understanding of picking and what we're doing, and they can cut out big parts of the video because they just don't know about the items. Also, too, finding someone who do comps for those items too that I find or pick up is also difficult. So if I did have someone edit my videos, I would have to find someone to do that. I did find someone that could possibly edit my videos, but the cost was going to be like $150 a video to get edited, and unfortunately, if I'd be losing money, the money I make on my videos compared to, paying someone to edit. So I just, at this point in time, I'm just not the point where I can edit my own videos, or I pay someone to edit.
So for me, a 30-minute video probably takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours for a, like the ones that you guys see on here, the what sold videos. And then on the thrifting videos, I actually only hit the button for what I want to record. So I don't have to delete anything, and I just piece them all together. And then I do a voiceover, because there's normally like the sounds. I don't choose to talk in the thrift store. So I haven't had somebody edit this channel because I'm like Stephanie, like, you don't want to know what I edit out of these videos, because I never know what's going to happen. I might leave for 10 minutes and come back. So I don't think I would be comfortable with somebody editing and seeing like what I edit out. And on my catch treasure hunting, they can't edit it because it's not me. I was talking with a friend about that the other day. I'm like, yeah, they'd really want to watch it if they're expecting my voice, right? They're not expecting somebody else's voice, so it wouldn't, and somebody else doesn't know why I'm looking at what I'm looking at and why I'm picking up what I'm picking up and back what I'm putting back. So yeah. Summertime Vintage sent us a $4.99 super chat, and we got another one as well. So she requested the new super chat, and it is completely different from any you have seen. It's not going to scare you. You don't have to close your eyes. Here you go. An eagle. And I have to tell Geno something really funny, and I didn't tell him this earlier. So Geno texted me that super chat with the eagle, and I was actually watching a documentary on eagles, and they were like on my TV when I opened that super chat. So it was kind of ironic. And yeah, I was like, oh, that's like perfect. It's just like meant to be. All right, now I get to pick a different one. I love nature, period. Like I just do. All right, my flipping banker sent $5 and said, thank you for sharing. I appreciate this community so much as I get ready to launch. I love watching all your videos and learning from each one. All right, let's do Adulting at the Beach, because I love watching this one. Here you go. That's my kid.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you didn't show the one with him riding the dolphin yet. Yeah, you got more.
Well, yeah, we haven't done that one yet. Rod, do you know the answer to this? What is the reason behind the dib dip name?
I'm calling dibs on it. Did it.
Okay. Dibbed it. Dibbed it. Marnie says, hello, new to reselling. If I'm selling jewelry, clothes, and old gun manuals, I have a decent sized lot of them. Should I have 2 eBay accounts for such different stuff? And what are other benefits to having 2 eBay stores?
I would not have 2, because eBay, every category you put, they're just going to show each one to the people who come to eBay. I don't think there's a problem with putting gun stuff, and pottery on the same eBay. I do. I sell a mix of everything. So I never had a problem. Things sell every category. So no.
I do not recommend two eBay stores. We have two eBay stores right now. We have when we started reselling, my husband and I, we had one that was our own store, and then we used to consign for other people. We started that during the pandemic. So then I had an eBay store for that. We no longer consign for other people, but now I have two stores, and it's I can't get out of it. Like I just would not recommend it. Just put it all together in one, and just it'll sort by categories.
Yeah, so I've had two stores in the past, and it's a pain in the butt because you forget to check one store for a day or two, and you have your main store, and it just creates more confusion than anything. I have used two eBay accounts, one for buying and one for selling. I have done that because I didn't want because I was sourcing from eBay, so I didn't want someone to see me buying an item for $20 and having the same item in my store for $50. So I have done that, but I think the only benefit would be having two stores if you were really like niche down or specialized something. Like if you're a camera store and you're just selling nothing and you have 500 cameras, well, yeah, then maybe it would be worth having two stores. But at the end of the day, most people can just get by with one store, and trust me, it's going to save you a headache along the way.
Yeah, I am going to echo everybody else's sentiment and say I had to. I did exactly what Rod said. I would forget to check one. I even forgot for like a week, and stuff was shipped out late, and it was absolutely horrible customer service. And I do not, in my opinion, there are no benefits to having two eBay stores. I think you should just have a single eBay store. All right. What is more important for consistent sales on eBay? Quality or quantity?
I've had a problem with this sentence for a long time. I think, people say if you list consistently, eBay will push you more. If you list all at once, eBay will push you more. If you stand on your left foot while listing, eBay will push you more. I think whatever you're doing at the time, and you happen to get more sales the next morning, I ate pizza last night and I got more sales today. I think people are just guessing. eBay doesn't tell you if that's true or not. If you want to list every day, fine. If you got 20 items and want to list it all on Monday, go list it. That's my opinion. Nobody on this panel is going to agree, but that's my opinion. Boy, am I stern on that one.
No, I think.
Good job, Geno.
So I think listing consistent quality products in whatever quantity you choose is what gets you consistent sales. It's that quality, that customer service, being on there consistently, shipping consistently. I don't think, if you send out a large quantity of crap that gets returned, that's not going to help you on eBay. It's the quality and being consistent in all aspects of eBay.
So this is a loaded question because eBay does reward you to be consistent on eBay. You should at least get at least 5 listings a day if possible. But also, too, if you're listing the same category and you're listing consistently, eBay will reward you and they will push your items. It's proven. It's been shown over the years. Many players out there. Look at Tech and Sports. He'll tell you the same exact thing. He recommends you list consistently every single day. If you're especially in a certain category, if you spread out if you're listing that same category every single day, you're going to get rewarded. It's going to be pushed because eBay sees the output you're putting in. This is why we had limited amount of numbers of listings for many, many years. Because eBay wanted your store to grow at a consistent basis. They didn't want you to grow too fast. That's why eBay limited the amount of listings you could do in your account. Now eBay's removed that, but they removed that barrier for a lot of people. But for the longest time, eBay wants that. So I would say, yeah, you want to put consistent listings on a daily basis, but you also can't just throw crap against the wall and hope it's going to stick. You got to make sure that you guys are listing quality items at a items that have a fast sell through rate at a reasonable price, at a competitive price, and your items will sell and you will get rewarded on that.
I think it's a combination. I think if you have high quality and high demand items, it's definitely more quality, because you could have 100 items and make a living if they're ones that everybody wants and they're constantly selling and constantly turning over. I have a mix. I have quantity as well. I have over 7,000 listings because I bought lots, and I have been listing for years and listing 20 to 30 items a day. So I think it depends on your business model, what you want to do. But I think you need to be consistent regardless. But quantity is not going to matter if you don't have any quality there. Nobody's going to buy it. It won't matter how many you list. It's not going to sell. So yeah, little combination of both. Teacher Treasure Chest wants to know, what is StreamYard?
You're on it.
It's the program.
It's a website.
Right now.
We're on it now. You could go to StreamYard.com. It's free. It's what we use. You can use it to broadcast the podcast like we do. You can use it to record videos. It's just, and the nice thing is there's no program to download. There's nothing, like, you just click a link and hook up your webcam and you can go. Antique Bird Lady, I don't know the answer to this. Maybe someone in the chat can help us. Is it hard to give a partial refund if you are not a top rated seller?
I'm top rated, so it's not hard for me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if the chat's saying anything.
We have two stores. One is top rated and the smaller one is above standard, because we just haven't sold enough to be top rated in that one yet. And I just did a refund, and I don't even remember seeing partial refund as an option.
So the question is it hard to give a partial refund? So when you go, anytime you sell an item, if you actually go into your My eBay, in My eBay, you can actually click on the what's sold, click on the item, and there's a drop down there. You can actually do a refund. So there should be no issue for you to give a partial refund, because you're actually refunding the buyer back. There may be an issue, stuff like that. So everyone has access to be able to do a partial refund. Now, if you're referring to what Kat was saying earlier about being able to provide a 50% partial refund, that's different, because she is a top rated seller. You won't have those options. You're top rated plus, right, Kat?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's top rated plus. So she has that option because there. But just to provide a regular refund or a partial refund, everyone has the access to do that. Now, I don't recommend always providing a partial refund, depending if a buyer's upset or anything like that. I always tell them to I don't do partial refunds. I only do full refunds for my items. That way you won't get hit with a scammer trying to extort you for money back or something like that. Anytime someone has a problem, they said that I want a partial refund, I just tell them that I have no problem giving you a full refund. Just send the item back, and I'll provide you a full refund plus shipping. And majority of the time, they just keep the item. So,
Yeah. Let's see. Geno?
Yeah. Oh, did I date her mom?
Her mom lived in the villages, or dated somebody from the
Trash
villages.
Cat Rescue. I only date beautiful women with a beautiful soul. So if that's a description of your mom, maybe I did.
Geno probably dated her. No. Oh, here's a question. I don't even know what this is. Has anyone on here tried Jamble? I hear you get to keep your earnings on there. What is Jamble? Oh, Stephanie's going to know.
Jamble is like Whatnot. It's a live selling platform. And I will say this about, you do get to keep your earnings. That's just a ploy for right now for them to steal people from Whatnot. There are a lot of young people, and by young, I mean like high school kids and young college. I'm going to say girls, because that's who I sell women's items over there. So they're smaller. So if you have a lot of extra small things, those things move over there pretty quickly. But also they give bad reviews. Like they I'm like, everywhere else I get 5-star reviews, and these like 15-year-olds are like 1-starring me.
The
So
teenagers, go figure.
yeah, so I'm like, I don't fool with it anymore. It just wasn't worth my effort. Um, but yeah, it has the same like marketplace thing, like Whatnot does also, that you can load your Poshmark store, and it does it for you automatically. Like every 48 hours, it refreshes your Poshmark store, so it would have include new listings, and people can buy just from their marketplace as well. Um, it's been around, I think, a little over a year.
All right, Geno. She's beautiful, but her soul is questionable.
I didn't see
Then,
that.
then was followed up by we get a super chat here, money for DNA testing. So we see how Geno has actually dated.
Wow.
Okay. What are we doing? Gino, what did you want to see? Oh, you wanted to see Dalton riding the dolphin.
No, I want to
think,
know
is
who
it
these
this
people
one?
are.
I think it's this one. I think it's this one.
Hi, I'm Dalton.
That wasn't
You're
it.
horrible, but that's not it.
We get another question for Geno here.
Oh, wow.
Gino,
Geno,
you're
are you my real
popular.
dad?
I'm not your real dad, I guarantee you.
I don't know.
I can't afford anything.
The village is a big place.
The village is a big place, and I'm at every party.
I bet you are.
Every party in his golf cart with
Yeah,
his
Upside
scrubby.
down pineapple.
You told me zip it, zip it.
Oh, I want to know everybody's opinion. Do you think this will come down the line? I'm sure it will. But when do you think? So we already have AI, right? List Perfectly is creating our listings from our photos. We already have that. It's making our title. It's making our description. Do you think, or when do you think AI will get good enough? You take a short video of the item and it's taking from that video your photos and making the whole listing. Do you think that will come down the line?
Yes, I've been amazed since I was little how fast computers have gone. Eventually, it's going to get really good. I don't know if it'll ever be able to capture your humor or be able to date the women I do, but that have good souls. But yeah, it's going to get close. It's definitely going to get close.
Yeah, I don't think AI will replace Geno, just in my short
No.
time.
They
here with him.
definitely cannot replace you.
I can tell that. I'm pretty sure by the time, I feel like I got out of the classroom just in time. I was an English teacher, so I can't even imagine what English teachers are doing right now. Like, I've tested it, like write a 7-page nonfiction story about all those assignments, or a persuasive essay on the best reason for whatever, and it just turns it out. So I have no doubt that pretty soon that you will be able to take a video and it get all the details and create the listing from that, probably within the next year or so.
So I heard a little rumor out there that eBay is actually going to be implementing an AI program into their listings for you to be able to use it in the eBay app, but that's what I heard is coming down the line right now. It's something that they're working on behind the scenes. So I think AI is here to stay, and I think AI is going to be accelerating extremely fast. I mean, just look how fast we've came with like Chat GPT and with people creating video and images, and they now have influencers that are AI generated that companies are going to be using as spokespeople, so they don't have to pay influencers to do that. So it's coming super fast, faster than what we like, or faster than what you may like. So if you guys get on board right now with AI, because it's coming, it's going to be part of our business, unfortunately, going forward.
Yeah, I eventually, I think probably I would say the next year.
Kat, we got a little explain here quick too. People keep asking what's the Villages. So the Villages is a retirement community here in Florida, one of the biggest ones actually in Florida.
In the
But
world.
they're known for where people like to. There are a lot of golf courses, and let's just say people like to go and have fun in their elder years. So they have a lot of good parties down there, adult parties and other things. Right, Geno?
It's a very big community.
It is very big.
There's
You can actually see it from the air. Like when you're flying into Florida, you can actually see the community from up high. So
yeah, it's huge. How many people are there?
And when you go there, if you're in a car, it's hard to find a parking space because there are more parking spaces for golf carts than there are for cars. It's very annoying. I will say that if you're in a car.
There's
Geno, what do you guys have?
150,000 residents.
How many golf courses do you guys have?
Oh, there's over 100, maybe 150. There's a lot. Everywhere you go, there's a golf course.
Yeah.
And in the middle of the golf course, it's a party.
Yep.
It's growing. It touches 4 counties, that's pretty big for a village. That's probably not a village anymore. And they're constantly building. You want to come down the street, they're building more. And I was the newer one because I moved here a couple of years ago. I was here before that, but I moved back, and they just keep building and building and building. It's crazy.
So a nose for picking says, what is a good length of a video? I'm going to assume on YouTube. And why do you think whatever your answer is?
Okay. Again, I guess this is a matter of opinion. But you ever watch like a half-hour show on TV? 22 minutes of it is the show, and 8 minutes is commercials. So they figured out to keep someone busy you can keep someone occupied for 22 minutes. So I decided when I started making my videos that I would make them from 10 to 22 minutes long. Most of mine are between 10 and 15, but it keeps their attention. And one more thing, if you go buy a video and it says an hour and a half, I'm not going to sit there for an hour and a half. So sometimes I look for the shorter videos because I don't have the time. I guess it's kind of up to you what you want to do, but I would keep them on the short side.
It depends on the purpose of the video for me. I taught middle school, like I said, and so yes, about 20 minutes is all you have to teach someone to do something before they get confused, upset, and they're ready to quit. So if I'm talking about some reselling concept like sell-through rate, I try to keep those a little bit shorter on the 10 to 12 minutes. However, one of my best videos is about my 8 hours at the Goodwill bins. I spent 8 hours there one time. And so, of course, I had a ton of stuff. And people were interested in watching me sort through these 8 IKEA bags of crap that I got from the Goodwill bins and what I was going to do with it. So, but that is like a low information video. You can put me on and just kind of listen and hear me talk while you're doing whatever you're doing, and you don't have to learn anything. So I think it just depends on what the purpose of the video is.
So the best length of a video is going to be based on what your audience wants. And I hate to say that, but it's going to. So what I recommend if you're starting out, try different things. Try, 10 minutes. Try 20 minutes. Try longer than that. Here's the thing: you have to keep your audience entertained. The longer the video is, you want to keep them engaged in that video. I had put out videos that were 40 minutes long. I put videos that were 10 minutes long. My sweet spot is around the 15 to 25 minute mark. Mostly my videos are try to be between 18 and 22 minutes. That's where I found out my audience, I have a longer retention, and that's over time. So that's where, if you are on YouTube, I will tell you the biggest thing you need to learn, watch videos on how to read the analytics in the YouTube studios. Mm-hmm. And that will give you as much information possible. And you can see where your drop-offs are. And then you can actually go in there. Like if you have a big dip and then it goes back up, that means people are skipping part of your video. Go back and watch that part of the video. Oh, why are they skipping that? Now you know for future. Okay, maybe cut that part out. So there's a lot of things on there. It's going to come down to your audience, though, because there's people in our community. I can't think of her name in Vegas. Oh, my God, I'm drawing a blank right now. But when she does her thrifting videos,
Thrifting Vegas.
Yeah, Thrifting Vegas.
Tiffany.
Yeah, her videos are over an hour long.
They're an hour.
But
they're viewed better the longer they are. Yes. Her and I have talked about that.
Now, if I put out a video that's an hour long, I will get my retention was going to go into the toilet because my audience is not what my audience wants. So it really comes down to the audience.
Yeah, so I used to do like 19 to 22, and on most of my research videos, that's where I'm at. My what sold, I'm at like 30 minutes. And then like my video I put out on catch treasure hunting yesterday actually has gotten almost like over 5,500 views in less than 24 hours, which is good. That channel only has 12,000 subscribers. It is I think 35 to 38 minute video. So I found almost like Tiffany that with my thrifting videos, people like the 30, 45 minute point. I don't stay in a store long enough to get an hour video like Tiffany does. So like 30 to 45 minutes is max for me. But for my research videos, I try to keep it at that like 19 to 22 minute mark. And like, if you guys think about it, like this is just like Stephanie was talking about, this is a podcast. You can throw this on, people listen back to this. They don't have to look at it. They can work while they're listening to this. And I mean, kind of like, you know, like background noise, you know, like you're kind of listening, you're kind of not, which is okay. And yeah, that is not true, Scott. They would watch.
The only thing I would say is if you're monetized, like you're getting, if you know, getting paid for your videos, you want your videos to be over 8 minutes long, because then you can hit a mid roll, meaning like if you're under 8 minutes, if you're under 8 minutes, you get the commercial when the video starts and the commercial at the very end. But if you're over 8 minutes, you get halfway through that video, you'll get another commercial pop up, which will help your monetization and payouts on YouTube.
All right. Susan wants to know, when ending and selling similar, what's the difference between ending and selling similar or relisting the item?
Well, people say if you end and sell similar, it brings it up to the top again. It's not, if it was 6 months old, eBay will think of it as just going out today. I always use sell similar, and I think that's pretty accurate, that you're relisting is just relisting the same item. I don't see any benefit to that.
That's what my experience is, or what I've been told, that when you end and sell similar, it gives it a fresh listing and it restarts the clock on that listing. Let me know if I'm wrong, you veterans.
So from my understanding is if I relist an item, it'll have still the same item number, but if I sell similar, it will give it a brand new item number.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. But I would say, regardless if you relist your item or do sell similar, if you just end your item and just sell similar or just relist and not change anything, it's not going to be beneficial to you. So anytime I end my listing, and if I'm going to relist or sell similar on there, I'm either going to be updating the title. I always change the price. I'm usually lowering my price because the reason I'm ending and selling similar, because the item has been up there too long, it hadn't sold, or I'm adjusting shipping, or I'm adjusting something on that listing. So when I do, it has changes to it, so it's just not the same exact listing as it once was.
Yeah, I think everybody covered it, and I end and sell similar as well. So Gila is asking, what would it take moving from above standard to top rated? I think for top rated, you need 1 day shipping and you need free 30-day returns on everything. That's the two qualifications. And I think you have to have sold like X amount in the last 90 days.
You don't have to have free returns. We don't have free returns, and we are top rated.
Maybe that's for plus, because I have the plus. Okay, maybe that's for plus. All right. Leticia says, I see eBay says I need a name for selling and for my eBay. So all that is your eBay store, which you could make it the same name, or like you could make it a different name. One is your username and one is the name of your store. They could be the same, they could be different, just whatever your preference is for that. All right, we have 2 more questions. May says, has anyone experienced being demoted to below standard? If so, what is your advice? Because no matter what you do, eBay won't give me the sales and views I used to have. I went from 10 sales a day to 2.
I've lost my ranking. What is it, 30 days or 60 days? And then if you stay above where you're supposed to be, they give you your ranking back, your high ranking. But yeah,
it's a rolling 90 days. So,
90 days.
Yeah,
okay.
so
I make sure I don't, I try hard not to get it there. So.
So first thing that you need to do when you fall below standard is to figure out what your issue is. My issue was that I was selling things and not delisting them. And so they would sell again on eBay and the item was not in stock. So I had to cancel the order. Now I will offer you 10 things so that I don't have to cancel
What
the
do
order.
you want?
I'm
Take
like,
anything.
go in the store and pick out something because I don't want to, because you're right. You will feel like that you can't get back out of that. So once you address the issue, get your store in tip top shape and then move forward. And friend, a couple of things that I did is I basically accepted any offer that people gave me that was like I wasn't losing money on, just to because you want to get that percentage more in your favor of good sales, so that you can climb out of that hole. And if you're not getting very many opportunities, you'll stay there forever. And also, whenever I did get a chance to like list things, because they had cut my listings way down, I did auction items like I gave people really good deals on like older like items or items that were going out of season. Like you start a pair of Lululemon leggings at $3. Some little girl's going to buy those and you're going to get a good review and then you're going to keep going up and up and up. So it was kind of gaming because I'm not making any money if I just have this store that's kind of just descending down. So I had to do a hard pivot for those 90 days to get back on track. And then I went straight back up to above standard.
So it does say monthly, but it's a rolling 90 days. So if you actually go in your My eBay account and you go to, where's that? If you go to My eBay and you click on seller levels, region USA, if you actually click on that, it would actually show you past seller level. So from July, current seller level in August, and when they evaluate you on the 20th. So it's based off those times. And that's how they're going to evaluate that. And what can actually bring you down. So these are the biggest things you guys need to know. One is going to be is your tracking uploaded and validated on time? They're also going to do cases closed without seller resolution, late shipments, or transaction defect rate. Those are the biggest things right there that's going to hurt your account. So you want to make sure those are things you always want to avoid. If you have to cancel an order, like she was just saying, I always email the buyer, let them know that, hey, I'm willing to offer you something in the store. I no longer have this item. Would you prefer me canceling it, or would you like a discount on a future item? 90% of the time they'll say, oh, just cancel it. Right there, the buyer says cancel it. So you can actually go cancel, buyer request to cancel. That's a workaround. Or what you can do is you can actually say, hey, I don't have this item in stock. I'm going to issue you a refund without canceling it. And you can actually still print off your shipping label, but say, due to me not having the item, I will ship you a free gift. And you can put some stickers in there and still ship it out. So the package still gets arrived because eBay has no idea. You already issued a refund to the buyer.
Just put a note. Hey, I'm sorry. I issued you a full refund.
That's
Enjoy
a good one. I like that.
That's another workaround.
Yeah, he said that a few months ago, and I never thought of that.
Yeah, so that's a good way to just send off some stickers to the buyer. They're getting a little free gift. I mean, granted, you're going to have to eat the shipping on that, but at the same point in time, you protect your account. So, instead of you're stepping over, it's one of those things that you just want to do. Your account health is huge because if you do fall below that standard, I fell below that standard. I've been kicked off eBay. Kat has been kicked off eBay too. We've both been there. And
a long time ago.
Yes, it's not pleasant. I will tell you this because they will remove your discounts on items. They will stop promoting your listings. You will be restricted on certain things you can and cannot list in certain categories, especially if you have a high defect rate. So you guys want to be monitoring that every single month, and your account gets evaluated on the 20th of each month. So make sure you guys keep an eye out for that, because if you're having a bad month, it will say next month you're going to fall below standard. So then you need to do whatever you possibly can, anticipate that. So it shouldn't be a shock to anyone. If you get hit with below standard, if that's your fault because you're not paying attention, because all the numbers are in there and they're updated daily. You can see it and track it along the way.
Yeah. Yeah, I would, and somebody put it in. I would recommend watching J Ride Flips because he just recently went through this. He had a lot of videos. He kind of shared his experience on it. So I would definitely recommend watching Jake. I haven't fell below standard in like over 20 years. So knock on wood, I don't plan
Well,
on it.
aren't you special?
Yeah.
Well, that's because I tell them, like, do you want something else from my store? Or would you prefer I cancel? They prefer I cancel. I cancel buyer requested.
See,
Like,
I didn't learn
You
that
gotta
trick.
do
I
it.
heard another reseller say that in a YouTube video. I did not know that trick. I was just canceling it. And,
Yeah, you'll just get dinged every single time we
Yeah.
do that. So
yeah. All right. Last question from Miss D. Do you sell similar from other people's listings?
All the time. If I see an item that's exactly like mine and it's listed, I'll just hit sell similar. The category will be in there. The item specifics will be already put in for me. I'll just change the title to what I think's a better title and then list it. I do it all the time.
I have never sold similar from anybody else's listings. I have from my own.
So are you just creating everything from scratch then when you do your listings?
I have some templates in a Word document that I kind of copy and paste and put in the item specifics for that item.
But she's doing all clothes, so she's doing like the same types of items.
Yeah, and we list 20 to 30 items a day. And what I will do is like I was trying to see what I had behind me, like all sweaters. So 20 sweaters.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that different.
You're batching it all at one time.
Yeah.
similar. Yeah.
I mean, I
basically.
could do it in an hour, under an hour.
Yeah. Every time I go to list, I do sell similar because I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. What I normally do is if I look up a comp, I always search from highest to lowest just to make sure there's no variant. Because like certain things like video games, there might be a slight variant to that disc or variant to that game that could, be hundreds of dollars of difference. But I always do highest to lowest because I want to see what the top items are selling, how they're putting, what keywords they're using, and how they're doing it. And then I'll do sell similar from there.
Yeah. So before I used AI Express Lister, I did use sell similar. That was the only way we listed. Since we use List Perfectly's AI Express Lister, it creates the whole listing for us. So everything is from scratch with that. And we don't have to use sell similar. So that was the last question. We got through them again. We have been getting through them. We are doing good.
One more question, Kat. What we just talked about. Someone just asked. We were just talking about that.
You told them, didn't you? You want to tell them again real quick?
Just one more. If you go to my eBay and then click on seller level, and it will take you to a separate page, and it will show you what you were in July, what you are in August, and what you're going to be on the 20th of September. So you have to go to my eBay, click seller level, and then it will take you right to the page.
Perfect. All right, so I'm going to make Geno big, Stephanie big again. Marsha has been sharing their channel links throughout the podcast, and I also have got their link. Yes, Marsha is amazing. I also have their links down in the description if you are watching this as a playback, if you would like to check them out. We appreciate you guys supporting them. So here is Mr. Geno.
Well, everybody, when I'm not at the parties in the villages, I'm usually editing videos, which takes me forever. And in my videos, I take you on little getaways. I'll show you different places I go, what I bought, what I sold them for. And like I said, I put in some special effects. I put in some humor. And then I go back to the party in the villages. And you see this. You don't see that part, though.
Maybe you should do that. You could go viral.
Yeah, I could. I need that, too. And
everyone should have a Marsha.
So come over to my site and see it. And if I like you enough, I'll invite you to one of the parties.
All right. Here's Stephanie. Geno, this is not a dating site. Here's Stephanie.
Oh, okay.
So over on Three Queens Resale, I primarily share my reseller journey and just the transition of going from being a full-time teacher to a full-time reseller and what that looks like and how I'm learning each and every day. Like I said, I like to do the hauls, the bins hauls, consignment store hauls, and definitely what sold, and just kind of just share new information and engage with people who are new to reselling. I mean, you can be experienced too, but just kind of look at it as from a person who is just trying to hustle and make a full-time living out of this.
Perfect. All right, Geno, it looks like you have an offer in the chat. So maybe this is a dating podcast and I didn't know it.
It is. I mean,
So is Joy beautiful and have a beautiful soul? Then I'll consider her.
All right,
Geno's gonna
Rob.
change the name from Geno Finds to Geno the Pimp. Look at you,
Yeah,
Geno.
Geno.
All right, so tomorrow night, if you guys are interested in learning about District, I will be live with the Commonwealth Picker. We are going to be auctioning off a lot of stuff. All my stuff's starting at $1, starting at 7 o'clock tomorrow night on Dibbit. It's on the District. If you want a direct link, you can see it on my Instagram page, or Commonwealth Picker will be posted up tomorrow. So come hang out with us. And I dropped a new video on my Picking and Punching channel from the flea across Florida. So go check that out. That was over the weekend.
Yeah, so I just put out a long video over on my Cat's Treasure Hunting. If you do like longer videos, we filled the car. I couldn't even show the whole haul because the clothes were stacked so high. They had just reopened. We got tons of stuff for $1, like amazing, amazing finds. So check that out. I don't have another one yet. Me and Shannon have to go shopping within the next couple of days. So if you guys are liking that, Shannon's been shopping with me. Marcia goes sometimes, Red Cardinal with us, and Elena Treasure Diva Thrifts goes with us too. And then tomorrow is going to be a high dollar only what sold video. I am having enough to do them every other week, which is really nice. And and Friday is going to be a mug research video because I know, like, so everybody knows I have a Tervis problem. This is a Tervis that I got that I did not let go. I have a Tervis problem picking them up at the thrift store. And I know a lot of people have the same issue with mugs. So I wanted to show you guys which ones were valuable and worth picking up and kind of what to look for on that. So watch for that as well. We are here every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Definitely, guys, thank you to Geno and Stephanie. Please check out their channels. I appreciate both of you guys. Rod for continuing to show up every week. He's here. And to all of you in the chat, too. We could not do this without you all. So you're greatly appreciated. And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.